What your smartwatch quietly knows about you might surprise you, and it's easier to fix than you think. You glance at your wrist, and a tiny device knows you. It records heartbeats, steps, sleep stages, locations, and subtle patterns. That data paints a private map of your daily life. Wearables turn sensor signals into personal insights and predictions. That power helps health, yet creates new privacy risks too. This video will demystify data flows and real dangers. Stay with me, because the fixes are practical and powerful. We start by listing what your watch actually senses. Modern wearables are small sensor suites on your wrist. They measure heart rate, HRV, and resting pulse throughout the day. They log sleep stages, duration, and nighttime disruptions automatically. Accelerometers and gyroscopes capture motion, steps, and workout intensity. GPS provides exact routes and locations while recording outdoor activities. Some devices record SpO2, skin temperature, and ECG snapshots in specific models. Apps also collect device identifiers, usage metadata, and settings. Together, they create a revealing portrait. Wait until you hear what that can reveal. Sensors produce raw numbers, not medical diagnoses by themselves. Algorithms analyze patterns across time to generate health signals. A rising resting heart rate can flag illness or sustained stress. HRV trends can suggest fatigue, recovery, or chronic strain. ECG snapshots can detect arrhythmias like atrial fibrillation in some devices. SpO2 and skin temperature measurements add respiratory and metabolic clues. Combine sensors and you can infer pregnancy, burnout, or illness earlier. That inference power helps care, but it also raises privacy questions we'll explore. Location data is uniquely identifying, not just convenient maps. Even without GPS, movement patterns reveal home and workplace reliably. MIT research showed 4 location points identify most people in datasets. That study shocked privacy researchers and changed how we think. Sharing public activity maps multiplies the risk for sensitive sites exposure. A simple running route can reveal your routine and home address. Location equals a behavioral fingerprint that persists across services and time. Next, we'll trace how that fingerprint leaks into other systems. Metadata is the invisible trail apps leave behind on every use. Device IDs, IP addresses, and advertising identifiers travel beyond the vendor. Developers include SDKs for analytics, ads, and crash reporting by default. Those third parties may receive persistent identifiers and event logs. Users rarely see or audit these background connections in apps. That shadow ecosystem expands your attack surface and monetization risk. We'll show how a single permission can open many doors. After that, we'll follow one heart rate data point into the cloud. Data pipelines move sensor readings from wrist to server in stages. First, the watch captures raw signals from sensors and chips. Then, Bluetooth syncs those packets to your companion phone app. The app may pre-process data and queue uploads to the cloud. Vendor clouds store, analyze, and sometimes share aggregated outputs with partners. Each handoff adds potential exposure and legal jurisdiction changes. Understanding this flow helps you pick sensible controls and limits. Up next, a single heartbeat's journey through this pipeline. Imagine a single heartbeat captured on your watch during a run. The accelerometer timestamps motion while the optical sensor logs pulse. The phone collects the packet and tags it with location metadata. The companion app uploads that record to the vendor cloud when available. Analytics engines may generalize it into a sleep score or stress index. Third-party services with access could use that index for ads or research. In some cases, law enforcement has requested similar records via subpoena. That single data point can ripple into targeting, policy, and legal actions. In 2018, a global fitness map exposed secret military bases. Users' public runs created bright hotspots on the aggregated map. Analysts noticed repeated routes inside secure compound perimeters. The visual output revealed patrol patterns and personnel movement. The incident taught a brutal lesson about public sharing optics. Anonymized or aggregated visuals can still create real-world danger. This case shifted how services design privacy defaults and maps. Next, we'll see other examples where maps exposed identities. Investigative researchers used fitness maps to identify intelligence personnel. Repeated activity clusters matched known base layouts and shift patterns. combining public data with OSINT, tied points to individuals. The revelation showed how weak anonymization really was. Privacy advocates pushed for stricter defaults after the exposure. The lesson: maps plus external datasets equal identification risk. Small app toggles can prevent mass disclosure if set properly. Up next, regulators who began to step in after these events. Regulators have started to clamp down on risky data sales. The FTC banned a broker from selling sensitive location datasets. That move acknowledged the harm of revealing visits to clinics and worship places. GoodRx was penalized for sharing health-related data with ad platforms. These enforcement actions signal higher scrutiny of health-adjacent services. Expect more rules around location and biometric data in coming years. But regulation varies widely by country and state. Next, concrete privacy risks you should prioritize protecting against. Advertisers and data brokers build behavioral segments from wearable signals. Those segments can include sleep quality, mood indicators, and activity levels. Insurers might offer discounts for shared data today. That incentive can become pressure or exclusion in future plans. Employers using wellness wearables can create subtle coercion pressures. Personal profiling reduces privacy and increases economic risks over time. These are not distant hypotheticals, but near-term outcomes. Next, we'll cover stalking, safety, and real personal risks. Location sharing features turn visibility into physical risk. Real cases showed trackers revealing when homes were empty. Compromised accounts or oversharing can enable domestic abuse or theft. Even casual route posts broadcast your routine to unknown followers. Safety requires default private settings and careful follower management. Use approval controls and hide start and end points near home. If you feel stalked, preserve records and seek help immediately. Next, I'll explain legal access and how clouds respond to subpoenas. Data stored in vendor clouds is subject to legal process and warrants. Some companies publish transparency reports about government requests. Subpoenas, mutual legal assistance, and national laws vary by jurisdiction. In some cases, vendors fight requests. In others, they comply quickly. If you want less cloud exposure, keep sensitive data local when possible. Encryption at rest and in transit limits casual access to your records. Later, we'll cover vendor choices that minimize legal risks. Next, why anonymized datasets are often re-identifiable in practice. De-identified sounds safe, but it's not a magic cloak. Location traces and biometrics act like fingerprints across datasets. Researchers have re-identified individuals by linking auxiliary data sources. Think of anonymization like blurring a face in a crowded photo. With enough other images, that blurred face can still match. Companies should treat de-identification as reduced risk, not zero risk. We'll outline practical steps you can take to minimize re-identification vectors. Next, what the law covers and where protection gaps remain. Legal protections depend on who provides the device and service. HIPAA rarely applies to consumer wearables sold directly to users. The FTC enforces unfair or deceptive practices in data sharing cases. State laws like California's CCPA, CPRA give access and deletion rights. The GDPR treats health and location as specially protected sensitive data. Rights and remedies vary widely depending on where you live. Knowing the law helps you exercise your privacy rights effectively. Up next, the first practical step to secure your wearable account. Treat your wearable account like a bank account with strong protections. Use a unique, long password stored in a password manager. Enable two-factor authentication with an authenticator app, not SMS. Add a recovery email and review trusted devices periodically. Remove any unknown devices from your account's trusted list. Strong account hygiene blocks many common avenues of breach. Next, we'll audit mobile app permissions step by step. That audit stops unnecessary sensors and limits data flow quickly. Open your phone settings and inspect every permission for the wearable app. Set location to while using and disable precise location by default. Allow Bluetooth only for pairing and turn off background scanning. Limit motion and fitness access strictly to the wearable app. Hide notifications from social features you do not use. On Android, consider centralizing controls with Health Connect when possible. After auditing, revoke permissions for unused apps and services. Next, we'll turn off and reduce sharing toggles inside the app. Open the Wearable app's privacy and analytics settings immediately. Toggle off product improvement and analytics sharing options you do not want. Opt out of personalized ads and marketing contacts in account preferences. Disable public leaderboards and global activity maps by default. Keep ECG and other sensitive records local or clinician shared only. Review and delete old activities that may still be public. Next up, practical steps to hide start and end points. Those adjustments cut off simple routes for unwanted viewers and bots. Make activity visibility private by default in your profile settings. Hide or blur start and end coordinates near your home and workplace. Remove followers you don't recognize and require approvals for new ones. Periodically audit past shared activities for unintended exposure. When sharing routes, choose course location granularity if possible. Encourage friends and teammates to follow the same private defaults. Next, we'll review connected apps and integrations to cut extra doors. Every integration you revoke reduces the number of external data flows. Visit the account's connected apps or linked services page regularly. Revoke access for apps and services you no longer use. Look for granular sharing toggles when connecting new tools. Keep your watch firmware and companion app up to date. Enable automatic updates to patch vulnerabilities quickly and silently. Favor vendors with transparency reports and public security documentation. Next, we'll secure the Bluetooth connection and local device locks. These practices limit accidental data sharing and reduce breach surfaces. Pair your wearable only with your personal phone and trusted devices. Avoid pairing in public places where unknown devices can request connections. Turn off Bluetooth in crowded spaces if you don't need constant sync. Accept pairing requests only after confirming device identifiers directly. Set a passcode on the watch, especially if it supports payments. Enable lock when removed to prevent unauthorized wear. These physical protections stop casual thieves and accidental access. Next, how to use your legal rights to control data. Many vendors let you download a full copy of your data. Request and inspect that archive to see what they store. Delete unnecessary history and workout files in bulk when possible. If you live under GDPR or CCPA, use access and erasure rights. Submit privacy or data requests through the Help Center or email channels. Keep records of your requests and vendor responses for future disputes. Using your rights reduces retained risk and improves vendor accountability. Next, I'll explain how to pick vendors with better privacy practices. Before you buy, read the privacy policy for key phrases. Search for words like advertising, third parties, and retention. Prefer devices that process sensitive data locally on the watch. Look for companies with bug bounties and public security docs. Contrast big ad-funded platforms with smaller privacy-first vendors before deciding. Independent guides and audits provide quicker insight than marketing claims. For kids' devices, verify COPPA compliance and parental control granularity. Next, we'll summarize a short 5-minute checklist you can use today. Quick recap. 5 actions that take 5 minutes each. Turn on two-factor authentication on your wearable account now. Set location to while using and disable precise location by default. Toggle off analytics, public maps, and activity leaderboards right away. Make activity visibility private and hide start and end points. Revoke unused third-party connections and update firmware frequently. If you only do these 5 steps, you are already much safer. Do these now, then choose deeper settings with confidence. Start there. If this helped, please like the video, subscribe for weekly privacy explainers, and tell us in the comments which tip you'll try first.